looked like you faced quite a few headwinds during the course of the year, but also some sweet spots as well for the group. How's it looking going into the new year? Because you did have those droughts during last year, which did hamper you from reaching full capacity. Will you do it this year?
I think we've got very good expectations of the year ahead. In our outlook statement, we said we're expecting considerable growth in profit from operations. Obviously, the biggest step change that we'll see next year is that we expect sugar production in Mozambique to go up by 50%. And we've been increasingly planting more cane or more land under cane in South Africa. In the past 2 years, we put some 9,700 hectares under cane in South Africa. So, again, we expect a better result there. And in Zimbabwe, we continue to increase our sugar production, which overall means we've got looking forward to a good year.
How about sugar prices? Because we did see sugar prices rising very nicely at the beginning of the year, but we have seen a tail off in that in the meantime. Would you expect that volatility in sugar prices to continue?
I think it's very important when you look at our results that one really understands what is our exposure to which sugar prices. Firstly, obviously we've got quite a big position in the region in terms of what we sell. This last year, particularly when the medical weakened dramatically, we couldn't bring sugar price in Mozambique back to regional prices for some time. They're now back to what they should be in terms of the regional prices, but in the last year that impacted 120 million on us. And then the second issue is that we sell a lot of our sugar to the EU. In the EU, we haven't really got any alliance or any commitment with anybody, so we are able to go out and tender, and we're able to sell spot tonnages, and we're getting very good prices for the spot tonnages because the EU is basically short of raw sugar.
So you really are more of a price maker then in the market?
Definitely. We're in a very good position in the EU, having no alliances there.
I mean, sugar aside, how about starch operations and also your land development and property management, and maybe starting with that, because it looks like it has been a tough economic climate for that land development and property management division.
But we often see it as a long-term process, so it's not a process that you look at every 6 months. What we were particularly pleased around is that even though we sold very few hectares, our prices remained very much intact, and actually at the Umhlanga Ridge Town Centre, we actually achieved some record prices during this particular year for our land, which just gives you a sense of how valuable those locations are. And then in the starch business, we improved operating profit by 21%, and we were really pleased with that.
And what's the fundamentals of that starch market looking like at this stage? I mean, how did you manage to increase by 21%? And is that, are those conditions that have continued into the current year?
Look, it is a manufacturing business, and generally, like all manufacturing business in South Africa, when the rand is quite strong, it takes a bit of strain. The big benefit in the business is that with the fundamentals of maize having changed in the United States, South Africa is now a surplus producer of maize, and that gives us a very competitive raw material for our business. At the same time, we were able to improve our operations, and our view is that what that impacted on us some 26 million during the year, and we've got a bit of capacity for growth in the local market. It is a product that continues to grow.
So I mean, just going forward, I mean, because in Zimbabwe you're also expecting the output to rise quite nicely there. So it looks like all three jurisdictions, Zimbabwe, Mozambique and South Africa, well positioned in the sugar business at least for the coming year.
Yes, no, we're absolutely expecting that.
And then just prospects for the full year, would you expect to see, I mean, because you had a small decline in earnings for the past year, would you expect to reverse that in the current year?
Absolutely, no.